Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. This is going to be a thread started by Mr. Hall of Fame. He noticed that if you have all your records on Discogs, which I do, I have, let me see, I can tell you right now, 3,486 vinyl and 207 CDs. If you have them all listed on Discog, and you go to the collection, where you hit your collection, right next to where the search button is, which is right there, right next to it, right there, it says random item. So if you hit that, it'll randomly choose a record from your collection to show. So it's sort of like electronic whack-a-mole that Mazzy does, but it's sort of electronically done. So the thing is to go to that random item and hit it 10 times and pull those 10 records out to show. So I did that. Interestingly enough, I have these IKEA cubes you see here. I have 5, 10, I like 12 cubes of jazz and 5, 10, 12, 15, 18 cubes of rock and pop. And then the rest blues and folk and soul, etc. But when I hit the thing 10 times, almost all of them come up as jazz. I don't know why that happened, but it did. Anyway, first one, when I hit that random button, first one that popped up was Art Pepper. And this is Thursday night at the Village Vanguard. I have a Friday night. I'm still looking for the Saturday night. They put out 3 records of his performance at the Village Vanguard. This was recorded 1977, July 28th, 29th, and 30th. And actually, I was living in New York City then. I could have gone to those shows. Big miss. Art Pepper on sax, George Cables on piano, George Mraz on bass, and Elvin Jones on drums. This is an original on Contemporary label. Also has this great sheet in there. All the different Art Pepper albums, so that's sort of cool. All right, second one I hit came up as, again, another jazz album popped up. Harrel Silver, Doing the Thing at the Village Gate with Blue Mitchell on trumpet, Junior Cook on tenor sax, Harrel Silver obviously on piano, George Taylor on bass, and Roy Brooks on drums. This is originally released 1961. This is a the repress on Blue Note, the classic vinyl series. Love Harrel Silver. This is just a wonderful album. Harrel Silver, Doing the Thing. All right, next one. One of the great ladies of jazz singing, the great Nina Simone. This is her album Forbidden Fruit. Originally released in 1961. This is a stereo original pressing on Colpix. The Colpix label. She did Rags and All Iron, Gin House Blues, Work Song, Memphis in June, Forbidden Fruit. Fantastic album. Just a side note, I was lucky enough to have parents who were very hip, and in 1963, I think it was, no, 62, they took me to see Nina Simone when I was 13 years old on Long Island, New York, and I was mesmerized the entire time. And yeah, sometimes it's nice to have hip parents. Nina Simone, Forbidden Fruit. Next one, now we're going to some blues here. We got Hound Dog Taylor and the House Rockers, genuine house rockin' music. Fantastic stuff. Love Hound Dog Taylor. This is on Alligator Records. This is also a 1982 original press on Alligator Records. Yeah, Hound Dog Taylor, Brewer Phillips, and Ted Harvey. Just great, great blues stuff. Just rocking it. Hound Dog Taylor. Next up, this is a repress because the originals are impossible to find, and if you do, they're more expensive than I would ever pay for it. But it's Rodriguez, Cold Fact. Everybody knows the story about Rodriguez. with a documentary looking for a Sugar Man. Original this was 1970, and this is a 2019 Back to Black repress. They reproduced the original label, which is sort of cool, but again, to find an original, nearly impossible. And if you do it, it's going to be $350, $400. So I'm very happy with this. Rodriguez. If you don't know Rodriguez, you should definitely check him out. Great story behind him. Next one, and get back to more jazz. And actually, which is interesting, an actual living, breathing jazz musician. Because so much of the jazz stuff we listen to is people who have gone. So this is an actual living, breathing jazz musician. And it's Christian McBride and his album Out Here. 2 LP set. Great picture of Christian in the band. There they are. Very post-bop, straight-ahead jazz, just wonderful. This was originally released on CD only in 2013, and this is a 2021 first time on vinyl pressing. Really nice jazz album. And big deal, it's numbered, number 586 out of I don't know how many million, but that's fine. So yeah, great album. Christian McBride is a bass player. Christian Sands plays piano, and Ulysses Owens Jr. plays drums. Wonderful stuff. Next one, another jazz album. This one I really don't remember listening to. I'm sure I have. But guy's name is Joe Thomas, and the album is called Raw Meat. And he used to play in the Jimmy Lunsford band. This was recorded probably in the recorded 1979. Engineered and mastered by Bob Ludwig. I love the label. Cool label there. Yeah, so Joe Thomas, a saxophone player, played in Jimmy Lunsford's band and then did some solo stuff later on. This is toward the end of his life. I think he died in 80, 82. So, yeah. Joe Thomas. Raw Meat. And moving on, we have the great Al Cooper with Shuggie Otis. This is part of his series of Cooper Sessions. This one, the original one had Stephen Stills and Michael Bloomfield. This one he brought in Shuggie Otis to play with him on Columbia. This is a 1969 original in stereo. Nothing there, but great stuff. Shuggie Otis was this young kid whose father, Johnny Otis, had jazz blues band back in the 50s and stuff. Shuggie grew up listening to jazz, playing guitar, and got into the blues, and was a real phenom. So, great album. Next one, finally, we got some basic rock and roll, but I don't know. It shows this one for me. The Mamas and the Papas. And this is their album, Deliver. This is a 1967 original mono pressing, still in the shrink, with the hype sticker. And this album has Dedicated to the One I Love, Creek Alley, Sing for Your Supper, Look Through the Window. Great, great album. Some of the greatest vocals ever. Fantastic. And the last one that the machine picked out for me randomly is this great compilation called Southern Rockin'. And it says here, original mono only. Never heard of any of these guys before I got this record. You have Lonnie Allen, Lanier Smith, Dewey Guy, Kenneth Hunt, etc. Someone called Mason Dixon, the Miller Brothers. On a white, from the Netherlands. It's a compilation from the Netherlands. And it's on white label. That's the record label, white label. But what's interesting is that on the label itself, it says stereo. And on here, obviously, it says original mono. So I haven't listened to it for a while, so I can't remember if it actually is mono or if it really is stereo. But great, obscure Southern rockers, recorded mostly in the 50s and 60s. If you like that rockabilly stuff, pretty cool record. Southern Rockin'. So those are my 10 picks. Electronic whack-a-mole, basically. I may do this again in a couple of weeks. Sort of fun to do. when you're trying to think of what I want to do a video, but I don't have to think about, well, should it be about records with dogs on the cover, or this or that or whatever. Just go to your Discogs page, go to collections, and hit the button that tells you to random choice, and you'll see what it picks up for you. You might discover something in your collection you forgot about. Okay? Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, peace.